Hello guys. Alright, so I wanted to talk about part 3 of Shane Dawson's Getting to the Truth of TanaCon, which was intense. Like, Shane's face when, Tana and Michael were going at it, were talking, but going at it. His face was just like, and I'm just like, dude, same, like, this is so intense. Like, it's intense. It was. And I'm glad we got to the bottom of it. Now, there are a few things I want to say. Okay, now, they made a big deal because Tana was showing Shane her footage, that her and her videographer did. Hunter, I think, or something? I can't remember his name, honestly. Yeah, it was Hunter. Yeah, I was right. Okay. I was thinking, okay. It was Hunter. Well, they were looking at the footage that Hunter had taken and stuff throughout the TanaCon experience. And there was one part where they're like, yeah, it's going to be like a mosh pit. And Tana's like, a safe one, though, right? And, they're making such a big deal, Tana and all them, and Shane's kind of like, oh my god, But at the same time, it's like, why would you want to have a mosh pit at a convention with a bunch of kids? Like, I don't care if it's a safe one or not. Why would you want to have a mosh pit at your convention? Why would that even be a thought in your head? Like, so many things that were said makes me think, like, they knew this was going to fail. I don't know. Like, this Michael guy, he's not legit. I don't fucking know his deal. I don't know what the hell is going on with him. I'm sure he has scammed people. I don't know. I wish we knew, like, more of the truth. Like, I really wish, some people have started coming out and talking about him, Michael, and how disgusting he is and how mean he is and how he's berated. Like, I watched the video when this girl was, like, 14, turning 15, he, confronted her and called her all these names and was videotaping it. And these two creators who she thought was her friends were just standing there videoing it, thinking it was funny, as he was calling her a slut and touching her. And it's like, this is a 14-year-old girl. And mind you, from what I gathered from her, this was all over a guy he liked that she had kissed. That's why. Now, I'm not saying she's telling the truth because I don't know her personally, but I actually do believe her. I don't think she's doing this for attention. I really don't. I do believe her because Michael, yeah, he keeps deflecting the questions. He keeps, I'm about to lose my house. Okay, if it is true that he's going to lose his house and all that, okay. But saying it constantly and constantly and constantly like you're trying to excuse what you did because, well, I'm losing my house now, so I'm being punished enough. That's kind of like how I feel, because he kept saying it over and over and over again. And it's like, I'm sure there's a lot Tana's losing. I mean, I'm sure fans probably stopped liking her after this. I mean, her reputation's kind of been twisted. I mean, it's not like it's going exactly great for her either. And it's like, you don't hear her saying, oh, I'm losing subscribers. Oh, I'm losing this. Oh, I'm getting called all these names. Because at the end of the day, they're both to fault. But he lied a lot. He did. However, with that being said, this is what gets me. Tana actually went to the Marriott Hotel and checked it out. Checked everything out. Well, first, let me say this. In some of the footage that Michael was doing for the documentary and all that, and Hunter and them were doing, in the footage, they're talking about how it has a 1,000 capacity. 1,000 capacity. But they're going for 5,200. That's what they're going for. And then they're like, well, we could put it down to 3,000, Michael says. And Tana's like, we could, but would we? Or something along those lines. And it's like, okay, so first, you knew it was 1,000 capacity. That's it. Okay, you knew that. And you still continued on with selling 5,200 tickets. And barely anybody got free tickets, if anybody did. I don't want to say the number because I can't remember what he said. I think he said from like 20 to 200 or something like that. Something Shane said about it at the end of the video, because he got like more of the truth. I guess, you don't want to be on camera telling this fucking truth. But he got more of the truth. But it's like, okay, so right there in the middle of planning, you know that you cannot hold more than 1,000 people. You know this, and yet you're continuing on with this Marriott Hotel, knowing that you're going to have over 5,000 people there. Really? Not only that, Tana took a tour of the Marriott Hotel and was like talking to the staff and, you know, saying, oh, so we can fit them. And then Michael's saying, oh, we'll put the stage here and all this stuff. And it's like, you took a tour of the Marriott. I mean, in one of the rooms that you guys were talking about building this stage and how it was going to be so awesome, it was so fucking small. Literally, all you would have is a stage and maybe like 20 people in there at most. Like, that's a fucking convention. You're selling over 5,000 tickets, and yet you have a venue for 1,000 or less, because these rooms aren't even that big. That's what gets me. It's like, not only did she know they both were going over capacity, but she also toured the Marriott, and you're telling me, looking at the Marriott, you can't tell how small it is? I could tell in the videos how fucking small it is. Yeah, maybe for like a wedding or something, a small wedding, that would be cool, but for a fucking convention? No. And yeah, and I do like that she owned up to it. She was like, yeah, we were being petty because they had fuck VidCon at the end. You know, her saying that she didn't put that in there, you know, and they shouldn't have done that and stuff. I don't know whether she put it in there or not, but I wouldn't be surprised considering fuck VidCon was the main thing she was saying, fuck VidCon, you know, in her videos. However, I do think this tanacon, like, I love Shane because he was talking about how you say it's so dear to your heart and stuff, and yet you were on vacation or you were partying, you know, so how does that match up instead of trying to do something better, which is totally true. Totally true. And I'm not saying she wasn't involved as much. I'm just saying that when you have 2 months to plan a convention, you literally have to work day and night if you want it to be perfect. And even then, it probably won't work out. But you know what it was? The truth is, and even Tana owned up to it basically, the truth is, they were being petty, Tana and all them, you know, they were like, oh, we're going to have TanaCon the same time as VidCon, it's going to be lit, it's going to have a lot of people, you know, people can come from VidCon to TanaCon, or TanaCon to VidCon, all this stuff, you know, so it was I feel like when it first started, this TanaCon, it was a lot of, fuck you VidCon, look what I'm going to do, your VidCon's going to be shit, and my TanaCon's going to be lit, you know, and that's another reason why I think they lied about how many people, because I'm sorry, I just don't know how you fucking get 15 to 20,000 people. Like, I think they lied just to make it seem like, oh my god, so many people showed up. And it's like, okay, I don't know all of you people, but me personally, as much as I love a creator, I totally would wait in the rain, in the sun, in the snow for someone I love. A creator, a celebrity, whoever it may be, I would totally wait for them, no matter how long it took. However, when it comes to a convention, I don't want to be waiting out in the fucking sun to get into a convention I paid for that should fit all of us. Like, that's another thing that got me. Tana was talking about, like, oh, we'll have some fans waiting outside, you know, and in the rain and all this stuff. And it's like, I love that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, you do, and I'm sure a lot of people do, but at the same time, this is a convention, not a meet and greet. Like, I can understand if it was like, oh, come meet, Dylan O'Brien in Times Square from 2 to 5 or something, then yeah, you have to wait in line to meet him until it's your turn, or a book signing, wait in line until you get a book signed. But for a convention, you don't really want to go into it with, oh, let's make sure we have some people outside. Why do you want them outside? Like, I'm sorry, like, oh, I love, like, when people wait in the rain for their favorite creators, I love doing it and stuff, and it's like, it wasn't raining, but it was fucking scorching hot, and it just gets me that, like, she was already planning on having people wait outside, and it's like, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, that is fucked up. So, yeah, I just want to talk about a few things on part 3. You don't have to agree with me. This is just my personal opinion, just some of the things that didn't mesh up, that didn't add up. Yeah, so that's basically it. Another thing that gets me is that when Tana's talking to Shane, she keeps saying about asking Michael, she's like, we have enough room for 5,000 people, right? There's going to be enough room for 5,000 people. Mind you, she already toured the place, which should have told her right then there's not enough room for 5,000 people, but what else? Not to mention, earlier, in the documentary thingy going on with Michael, she even knew it was 1,000 capacity, like I said. And yet they were still going 5,200. So, okay, she knew that. She toured the Marriott, which should have showed her right there, like, this isn't a convention center kind of place. Dude, you would have been better off going to Jarvis Center in New York City. Like, seriously, that's a convention center, not a fucking hotel. Like, maybe a little meet and greet or something at a hotel, okay, but a convention, especially, like, come on, at a hotel. But she's telling Shane, she's like, oh, she's telling Shane, she's like, I asked Michael, I was like, there's going to be enough room. There's going to be enough, capacity for 5,000 people. You know, there's going to be enough security, blah, blah, this, that, that. And it's like, you already know that you can't fit 5,000 people in this space. Like, you already know that. And I don't understand why saying to Shane, I kept asking him, we're going to be able to fit 5,000 people, right? We're going to be, and yet you already know it can only hold 1,000. And not to mention, you said, oh, they, fans love to be oppressed. They love to, you know, oh, I waited out in the rain for you. They love that shit, and so do I, you know, and stuff. So it's like, clearly you had in mind, like, oh, well, this can't fit 5,000 people, but at least it'll keep some people outside waiting, and then they can get in and be all excited and be like, oh, I waited 2 hours, but here I am meeting my favorite creators. And so, yeah. Okay, so on the papers Michael signed, it even says on the Marriott Hotel, it even says from the Marriott, that there's only going to be 1,000 attendees, right? There's only going to be, now apparently, the Marriott just put that and made him sign it because, it's just the way it goes, it looks better, but they really knew that there was going to be like 5,000 people. Also, saying that we're going to just keep selling till we sell out is not really the best way to go about this. You're basically just saying we're going to just keep selling tickets until we run out. And it's like, but you know this doesn't have the capacity for a fucking 5,200 tickets that you sold, let alone all the people waiting outside because they thought there was going to be free tickets. No free tickets. And Tana says, like, okay, I don't, you know, I'm not hating on her, but I don't believe everything that she says that comes out of her mouth. I'm sorry, I don't. Not that I believe anything Michael says either, but Tana, no, I don't believe her just as much as Michael half the time. Because, like, she was involved in this in the beginning, and she knew at the beginning, like, they didn't have enough space, you know, and yet they were still going forward with it. And then, oh, they were still going forward with having people wait outside, knowing that it's fucking California, and it's hot, and it's humid. And then they still went forward with another thing that puts me off a little bit is Tana said that they sold 4,200 tickets and that 3,000 were free. But how is that possible? Because you sold a total of 5,200 tickets, right? 4,200 tickets were 4,200 tickets were sold, but 3,000 were free. But that doesn't match up. Like, that, am I the only one who thought, like, that's, like, I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't match up. It doesn't seem like, like, honestly, this tanacon thing, I feel like, was just a fuck you to VidCon, honestly. I mean, she had the right intentions at the beginning, Tana, but at the same time, she was letting her pettiness for VidCon get in the way, and she wasn't really, I don't know, like, she's just in the blame, too. You know, I understand she trusted Michael, and he probably did continuously lie to her, but at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you saw this space. You knew how many capacity. You knew from the beginning of this convention you were going to fail, and yet you continued on with it. And now you want to sit here and cry about it. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, dude, you knew in the beginning that this was not going to work. And yet you still did it. It was just like, I don't want to think she, like, just did this on purpose, like, went along with it, because, I mean, this is her name. Like she said, her name's attached to this. But it's like, you knew this wasn't going to work, dude. There was just no way this was going to work. And you still continued on with it. And I think you lost sight of what this meant to you. And I think you lost sight of how important this convention is and how everything has to be perfect. And I know, okay, I was asking Michael, and he was saying all these things to make sure, that to reassure me. He was telling me everything's good and stuff. But it's like, I feel like, I don't know. I just guess you should just be more involved is all I'm saying. And the whole security guard thing, there was no way they were going to be able to pay $1 million for like 92 security guards. Just no way. I mean, I don't care how much money this dude has. That's a lot of money. So right there, the security guards were low. And it's like, that's another thing. Okay, Tana, you're telling me you don't see the security guards at all the whole time you're at this convention. You don't talk to any of them. You don't know anything about the security guards. You think there's 92 when there's like 25? Yeah, 25. Oh my god, that's so low. 25. That's crazy. Like, how do you not notice that? Like, I'm not putting the blame on her. It's just like, there's so much of what she says that it's like, dude, you're saying it, and I understand it hurts, you know, that this happened, but you let it happen still. Like, you guys knew going into this, you could not fit 5,200 people. You went into this selling as many tickets as you could until you ran out. You know how stupid that sounds? And then it's like, oh, but what about the free tickets? And it's like, you know, Tana says she had no idea that no one was getting any free tickets, but you think she would? Because I'm pretty sure fans would be tweeting, like, where's the free tickets? Or people would be saying, like, where can we get the free tickets? You know, that's something I feel like she would know about. I mean, I think she would know if there was free tickets or not. I mean, that's something I would assume she would know. I would personally know, because that was, like, such a big thing for her, is, like, having free tickets, you know, being this great convention, you know, coming together, meeting all your fucking favorite creators, you know, having fun, you know, so that was, like, a big thing, these free tickets. And for her to say, well, I had no clue. He told me 3,000 were free out of 4,200, which makes no sense, like I said. But it's like, dude, you would know. Like, it just, a lot of things just don't add up. I mean, we basically got to as much as the truth as we're going to get to with TanaCon. I mean, if they do this next year, I don't know. I would wait a little bit. Like, this was a total disaster, and they should have known this from the beginning, but they didn't. Apparently, they didn't care. Apparently, they were being petty with VidCon. Apparently, they just wanted this big thing, especially as Tana's birthday. Want to celebrate with TanaCon, you know. And yeah, sure, the first day went okay. Like, most of the first day, you know, Gabby performed. There was a wedding. But I seen the space, and it was so fucking small. I've been to fucking concerts bigger than that in a fucking bar. Like, that's how small it was. Like, it's crazy. Like, yeah, so this is just what I had to say on some of the TanaCon stuff in part 3 of Shane Dawson's video, because that was just some of the stuff that was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like, at the end of the day, they're both hiding something. They're both lying. It's their fault. It's his fault. It's her fault. It's both of their faults, because it is both of their faults. But at the end of the day, you know, he probably did lie to her about a lot of things, and she went along with it, trusting him. But you really don't know this guy that well, so you really shouldn't put all your trust into him. I mean, and another thing, a lot of people were telling her, don't work with him, you know, don't work with him. And I kind of, me personally, would have took that like, all right, I'm not working with him. If she made it sound like so many people kept telling her, don't work with him, don't work with him. And it's like, I wouldn't have worked with him, like, at all. If people kept telling me this, I would have been like, there has to be something up with this guy. I can't work with him. This is my name, you know. What if this goes up in flames? What if someone gets hurt? Someone could have got hurt. It just, like, boggles my mind, like, the whole mosh pit thing. And it's like, Tana's like, a safe one, though, right? And it's like, it doesn't matter if it's fucking safe. You shouldn't have a mosh pit at a convention. This ain't a fucking concert or whatever the fuck. Woodstock, dude. This is a convention. You don't have mosh pits. Like, come on. Like, that's just not something you have. A safe one or not, you don't have mosh pits. So, that didn't make you look any better, to me anyways. I'm just saying, this is my personal opinion. We also have a video that someone was Snapchatting, Instagramming, I don't know what they were doing with it, but they were videoing them with Tana, and she was drunk at this point, and they were like, oh, this is the girl, they were like, pointing at Tana, this is the girl who scammed everybody, you know, they're making their little Snapchat or Instagram, whatever, it's so, I wanted to quote this just right. Okay, she's like, she said, Joanne the scammer is so pissed at how good I'm scamming people, and then she's like, I'm drunk, can you get this out of my face? And it's like, yeah, because you stopped yourself before you said any more. That's all I'm saying. Because, like, Joanne the scammer is pissed at how I'm scamming these people. I'm sorry, drunk or not, it's just not something you say, joking or not, it's just not something you say. So, yeah. I'm going to say something that I think is completely true. When you're drunk, the truth comes out. So, Tana, are you Joanne the scammer? I'm guessing that has to do with James Charles, Sister Charles, because, you know, whenever he was exposed for retaking his graduation photos and bringing a ring light, which he didn't do, basically, he was like, call me Joanne, so I'm guessing that's where Tana got Joanne the scammer, because, you know, James Charles. But it's like, I don't care if, like, dude, I understand you're drunk and you could easily say, I didn't know what I was talking about, I was drunk, I was being stupid, but it's like, nah, maybe the truth came out when you were drunk, and then you stopped yourself before you let it come out even more and said, oh, stop filming me, I'm drunk. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, like, because when people are drunk, the truth really comes out, because they have no filter, because they're just like, ooh, they'll just say whatever, at least I think so. So, I'm just saying, that video speaks a lot. Also, not to mention, I talked about this in my part 2, whenever I watched part 2 of Shane's, how in the first part, that guy was like, oh, Tana's trying to look good by bringing water outside for the fans and stuff, and it's like, seeing that, and then seeing this, and her basically saying, yeah, I'm Joanne the scammer, you know, it's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, this, are you fucking serious right now? Like, and she's smiling and stuff, and the first time she was not drunk, the second time she is drunk, but it doesn't mean shit. You're still saying what you're saying. Even if it's a joke, why would you joke about scamming all these people you love so much, and all these creators you love so much? Like, that makes no sense. Not to mention, she's talking about how all these people are getting sunburned outside and stuff, and yet she's the one who said it would be cool if there was fans waiting outside. So you're upset at this Michael guy for them getting sunburnt, but yet you even said to Michael, you both said it, you were talking to each other, you even said, I think it would be cool to have fans waiting outside. And yet now you're going off on Michael saying, oh, my fans have these these sunburns, and I can't believe they were left outside like this. And it's like, do you not hear yourself? Because we're watching video from Tanacon and then hearing you, and it's not adding up. It's like you wanted people to wait outside, but then you want to be upset when they got sunburned. You can't have it both ways, Tana. Like, I'm not trying to bash on her or hate on her and put all the blame on her, but Michael, he clearly is not a good guy. From what I've heard, from what I've read, from what I've watched, he's clearly not a good guy. He hides a lot. He fiddles around a lot. He always goes around the questions, and he just doesn't seem to be fully there for the conversation. And Tana just kind of gets emotional a lot and stuff, and she's, you know, talking to him and stuff. And, you know, he probably did lie to her about a lot of things, like I said, and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's both their fault. They should have known from the beginning it was going to fail epically, but they went ahead with it. And now, hearing her bitch about all these fans who got sunburned is kind of crazy, considering she wanted fans to wait outside. And she knows it's California. It's hot and humid. Like, so, how are you going to be mad at Michael for that when you even said it would be cool to have them waiting outside? Not to mention, you can only hold 1,000 people, and you have 5,200 tickets sold. Like, hello,